Afternoon, y'all. We're back under the shade tree again, and I'm going to show you a little trick I found trying to fix a hood latch that wasn't working right. I had no idea I was having issues, and then the other day I was driving over to Ada, and the next thing I know, a big semi-truck passed by me, wind blast caught the hood, and the hood popped up, and thank goodness the safety latch caught it. So show you how to keep that from happening to y'all, and or worse, have the hood pop open and bust up your windshield, your eyebrow over your cab, and booger up your hood. So anyway, this is Joe. We're back under the shade tree, and we'll show you how things work around here. So there's the hood on Ethyl, and it's been like this for years. I had no idea. I didn't even realize that I had an issue, like I said, until the other day when the hood tried to pop open on me. See if I can do this holding the camera with one hand and pop the hood with the other, but wind blast come along, catch the hood, and it just kind of pop up like that and get caught on the safety catch. And it took me forever to figure out. I thought it had a bad hood latch or something. I was about to spend 70 bucks on a new one, and I had to go ahead and take the thing apart to figure out how it worked. Okay, so there's the latch mechanism, and that thing goes ahead and locks into this square right here up in the bottom side of the hood. And this part right here with the hook on it is the safety catch. That's what keeps it from opening all the way up if a wind blast catches it or something like that. This piece right here is supposed to go ahead and lock into the other side of that square and keep things from popping open. Now the handle down here under the grill, when that's locked in, it's supposed to be seated all the way back. And the problem I was having was it wouldn't lock in all the way back. And first I thought it was an issue with the mechanism itself, and in one respect it was, but in another respect it was the adjustment in the hood latch itself, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Alright, well, if you look at the witness marks on this here panel, the latch panel right here, you can see I've moved it over to go ahead and make sure that safety catch does go ahead and fully engage the square overhead right there. I want to make sure it's going to go ahead and lock in on this. There is technically some adjustment right here. You got 4 Phillips head screws that hold this into place, and you could go ahead and put a shim or a spacer underneath there and move that panel down, or that latch plate down a little bit. I went about this the other way. I'm going to go ahead and this latch panel right here, I'm going to go ahead and shim that up a little bit, just enough to go ahead and raise this up so this panel or this latch over here will lock in. I'll show you what the problem was that I had to start with. The first problem I had was that this spring right here, it's supposed to go ahead and put tension on the latch handle, was run over to the edge of this little bathtub right here that supports the latch mechanism. Now the problem I had was that spring was tucked down inside here, and it didn't put any tension on this thing really to go ahead and keep this handle locked back, which gosh darn it. That's what goes ahead and keeps that that primary ear locked in place and keeps it from being able to go ahead and move. If this panel, or if this is right here, you see right here on this this bar right here under my thumb, that's supposed to go ahead and lock in right there, and that's what keeps this piece here from moving. Okay, that's what locks in on the other side. That's the primary latch, and then the hook over here on the other side is the secondary or the safety latch. So what was happening was this piece here was just a little bit off, and this guy right here can go ahead and move. And there's nothing to go ahead and keep it locked into place. So what I ended up doing was I put this steel bracket in here. I welded it into the panel. It's a little bit more substantial. It moves the spring up, gives it a little bit more direct pull, a little bit more tension on it. But like I said, the other problem was that once I did this and I put the panel back in place, if I can get that back in here one-handed, I get this panel here back in place, right, like that. this here is seated down too deep. Now there's no spacers in here, but what I need to do is go ahead and raise this up about 1/8 of an inch or so, and that will go ahead and ensure that this piece right here, which is now locked because I fixed the spring on it, but make sure that this piece here goes ahead and stays locked in to that right there. If it's not deep enough, if it doesn't settle down in here deep enough, what happens is this handle underneath won't go ahead and fully engage, and then when a good gust of wind comes along, it pulls that sucker in, and the hood opens up and it gets caught on the safety catch. It's a little bit unnerving. You know, I hate seeing my hood pop up an inch while I'm going down the road. It's never a good thing, especially at highway speed, because I'm always afraid that it's going to miss this, somehow bounce over top of it, and next thing I know, my hood's in my windshield and up in the eyebrow over top of it there. I really don't want to damage that. I don't want to damage the hood. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I got that fixed. Like I said, it's a pretty simple deal. It's just a little spacer, but it's an easy fix. You know, kind of doing it out here under the shade tree. So here we are, me and Ethyl, and he's barked at the neighbor's tractor. He's out here raking hay. So anyway, be right back with you. Okay, so what I'm doing, I've got some 5/16 fender washers here that I'm going to go ahead and put in underneath on the bottom bolt holes, or the bottom bolts down here. It's going to raise this panel up about 3/16 of an inch once it's all cinched down. That's going to make sure that this catch right here is fully seated into the bottom side of that latch right there when the hood's closed, and that'll keep it from popping open. I don't have to go ahead and put shims or any sort of spacers underneath the top side because it's not really affected. It's the bottom side down here that does. I tried this the other day without the shims in it. I just left these 4 bolts down at the bottom loose, and that was enough to go ahead and cause this to engage and stay secure. Now, in a perfect world, this panel would fit right and I wouldn't have any issues. This panel itself, I don't know if it's aftermarket J.C. Whitney from back in the day or what. I mean, it was chromed at some point. I don't think it's original. It doesn't feel like it's original metal. It feels a little bit thin for being chrome, but you know, it may have been one of those ones that somebody gone ahead and stripped and sent down to Mexico back in the day. But either way, you know, hey, I don't care. Hecho en Mexico, no problemo. Yeah, screw my Spanish. Anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and put all these bolts back in tight, and I'll show you that this latch is good and secure. And they're spending $70–80 on a new latch mechanism. Would have just been a waste of money and nothing Ethyl really needed. So we'll fix that. We'll call it good. And just a little hint on these: when you go to put this panel in, the best thing you can do for yourself, save yourself the headache, is get all 4 bolts or all 8 bolts started. Just leave them loose. Do them hand tight, and then once you've got all 8 of them started in, then go ahead and tighten it all down, because otherwise you go ahead, you tighten one of these down, and the other 7 don't want to go ahead and line up. It's just that kind of adjustment. So I mean, do it the easy way, do it the hard way, your choice, but take it from me, you can do it the easy way. All right, so there it is. There's my $3 fix for the latch panel. Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap there underneath the between the latch panel and the grill, but when I go ahead and shut this sucker down, it'll actually go ahead and hold that hood shut. You won't be able to go ahead and bump it up, and I won't have to worry about big old trucks going ahead and popping it up on me and scaring the daylights out of me, and heaven forbid scaring the daylights out of Kim if she's riding with me. So yeah, easy fix, cheap fix. What I'll probably end up doing at some point is I'll go ahead and put a steel plate in there all the way across that grill, and just drill the 4 bolt holes at the bottom and properly fit that so I don't have that gap in there. But everything else is fitting like it's supposed to be. That grill fits right into the fenders like it's supposed to. It's mounted up like it's supposed to be. And this latch right here is set at the right height. There's nothing you can really do for adjusting with that. There's nothing pushing that down deeper than it's supposed to be. So either this panel's been bent at some point in time, which is possible. I don't know if it's a stock panel or if it's one that was aftermarket. But if this is setting too deep, obviously that latch plate up here don't want to go ahead and set down into it just right. And I mean, I could go ahead and I could shim that if I really wanted to. But for right now, I think this is probably the better answer. It's definitely secure anyway. So let's close this hood and we'll show you how it works. All right, so there it is, it's shut. And I'm gonna push that latch back. Oh. And there it went. Okay, just like that. That's all it took. And there's unlocked. I hope you can see it. Okay. There's unlocked right there. There's locked. It's all the way back. Okay, when it's locked like that, you can push up against this thing all you want to, and it's not gonna open. So easy fix. Like I said, I got all $3 in those washers, and it's secure. It's not going anywhere. Well, that's it, folks. That's the shade tree fix for the day. Inexpensive. It's easy. It works on at least 55 second series through 57. I can't swear for the latch assembly on 58, 59, but I think it's a similar setup. It took me a while to figure that out. I had no idea how that latch worked with that lock bar in place on the back side of it. I didn't realize that that notch was in there and that handle had to be all the way back. But now I can ensure that it's locked in, that spring holds it in place. It doesn't go ahead and rattle loose or anything else, and it keeps that hood shut nice and tight. So anyhow, y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm fixing to go ahead and call it a day.